Hey guys, tonight's movie review is for Lucy, starring Scarlett Johannson and Morgan Freeman. A little bit about this movie. The movie's main character is Lucy, and she is a college student who is studying in Taiwan. Near the very beginning of the movie, she is outside of a building talking to her boyfriend Richard, and he's supposed to make a delivery, but instead kind of forces her to make the delivery by handcuffing her to a case. She has really no details about who she's giving this to, why, what's in the case. She just has a name. And she goes into this hotel, asks for this man, and immediately gets taken up to this area where people are speaking another language. She doesn't know what's going on, and basically wakes up to find out that they have cut her open in the stomach, put drugs into her, and she's essentially, with a few other people, being human drug mules. They are carrying a synthetic drug that basically lets people access 100% of their brain. The sac that's in hers leaks, and part of this drug gets into her body, and she starts accessing more and more of her brain as the movie goes on. Morgan Freeman plays a professor in Paris who studies the phenomenon of the brain and what would happen if we got to use certain percentages of our brain. And she gets in contact with him to try to get help. She needs to recover these other drugs that the other people are carrying as drug mules, and kind of figure out, what's going on, what she should do with this development that's happening in her body, that's causing her to do all of these things to be able to control other people, herself, matter. And at the same time, the man who put the drugs in her system is chasing her and the other men to try to get the drugs back out. Once Lucy kind of goes off the grid and isn't obeying by his rules anymore, his mission is to try to get her back. So that's basically what the movie's about. As far as my review of the movie itself, I thought the acting was good. The storyline is interesting. What would happen. The director on this is Luc Besson, or Besson. I'm not sure how to say it, but he made The Professional, Fifth Element. The last thing he made was The Family. He is a European director and kind of has a specialized way of doing his films. Likes to do some visual risks, especially if you know The Fifth Element, you know what I'm talking about. So of course this film is visually beautiful. There's so many cool effects, and yeah, it's visually a pretty stunning picture. The movie itself, it's hard to, I guess, support and go with the main character Lucy as the movie progresses. Part of her getting more access to her brain causes her to kind of turn off emotionally and become more robotic and stoic. And to me personally, it kind of makes you care a little bit less about what's going on as the movie gets further and further and further out, because she becomes less human-like. And when you don't have that emotional connection, or when that starts to go away, you start to not care as much about the character. So I understand why it was doing that, but it kind of, as far as being invested in the story, it kind of causes the second half of the movie to kind of go in a downward spiral. And I think the first half was definitely better than the second half. Second half kind of goes into kind of just bizarre land and then ends. So I don't know. It's a hard movie to critique. There are parts of it that are are good, and like I said before, visually stunning. Although I'd have to say, compared to movies like The Fifth Element, which I really love of his, I wouldn't say this was one of his better movies. And one thing, the way it's marketed, whoever did the marketing is a genius. I mean, the marketing is really tries to pull you in, really looks interesting, really looks like an action thriller. And this is an action movie, but completely different from what you would think looking at the trailer. I mean, it goes off on just a it takes some weird turns that you wouldn't really have anticipated from what you saw in the trailer. So the marketing guy's a genius because he definitely pulled in all sorts of people that probably wouldn't have come or enjoyed the movie now knowing what the complete movie is. So I'd give this movie a C plus. I thought it was good. It was decent. Wasn't great. It kind of let me down a little bit. Like I said, the trailers were pretty amazing, and so I was a little let down, especially with the ending. But all in all, it was pretty solid. I would give it the C plus, especially for just the artistry of it. The visual was great. I saw this in Big D format, and if you have that in your area, I would recommend that because just the picture was awesome and the sound. The sound is really, I don't know what to say. Like there are parts of it that are pretty epic. It's really cool. And so if you go to like a Big D and IMAX, some kind of format like that that has specialized sound, I think you'll really enjoy the sound in this movie because it is really well done. So if you are a fan of Luc Besson, if you are into kind of the debate about the brain and how much we use it and what are the possibilities if we could tap into more of our brains, or if you just love, a beautiful picture, beautiful effects, I would say you would want to see this, and you would want to see it in like a Big D or IMAX format, like I said. So it's a C plus for tonight. Lucy is good, not quite what I expected, but that's all I got. What did you guys think about it? Did it meet your expectations? Were you let down? Did it remind you of any other movies that Luc Besson's done? Just let me know, and I hope you guys have a great night. Thanks.